Bami, good morning. I say good morning. No could and share no vex. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, Rosie. How are you? Good evening, good evening. How was your day? How is everybody's day? How was your day? Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. I don't want to waste your time. It's actually part two, Rosie, because the first one I did, yeah, it was a reflection. But but me and Rosie, the two of us don't start this evening. Oh, I'm so sorry. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please just bear with me. Um, yes, my people, you see this P Square case. You will be wondering why I'm so particular about it. I'm not here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope you all had wonderful day. I had feedbacks from the one I did, the P Square one I did yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I had feedback from it, and a lot of at least I had about 6 people call me, and they wanted me to explain. Well, they liked the explanation I gave, or well, my point of view around it, and obviously we're then talking about something else completely. And I said, you know what, I want to come and talk about another angle that we don't think about. And I think for me, this is also my own learning as well. Okay. Like I said, I always go back to watch my show again, and when I went back to watch, I realized I missed a vital part out of what we're saying, out of it. And if you remember yesterday when I was talking about it, I was telling you that myself and my friend will run the travel business together. But obviously both of us have our individual businesses. So, and that's also got me reflecting, because where I remember, when I said me and my friend were talking about it and also going through our paperwork and everything. That was something that there was one of the things that we talked about, where the company runs side by side. And of course, if you remember, I said we sent email to a legal team just to like keep us right. Okay. Of course, I have my accounting head on me. She is actually a solicitor by training. But like, sometimes when you're doing something, when you are actually doing something with a friend, there are some things you take for granted. And the fact that I have an accounting background and she is a solicitor doesn't necessarily mean that we know how to cross our T's and dot all our I's. Okay? There might be things that we might have overlooked, or there might be things that, good evening, Fumi. There might be things that we overlook, or there might be things that, we have not necessarily explored because it's still early days of our business. And that also brought me to reflect on the P Square on the Okoye brothers. I'll call them Okoye now, and you will understand very quickly why I'm calling them Okoye. And that's something that got me reflecting, because when a business is starting, particularly when you're doing it with a friend, you're doing it with a family, it's very easy for us to. Good evening, Unique Pearl. How are you? It's very easy. It's not because you deliberately want to ignore information. Sometimes it's very easy that you miss out information, because no matter how you want to do it, familiarity will always have a part to play. Particularly if both of you are friends, or you are families, or you're related, maybe husband and wife. There are some I's and some I's. We don't dot some I's, we don't cross some T's. And like I said, again, yesterday I slept really late because, I thought about it. I'm that kind of person, I don't know, probably some of you would have picked up by now. I'm that kind of person. I am very, very reflective. And of course, the kind of job I do does not help me either, because social work is all about reflection. You don't just do something for the fun of doing it. You are always reflecting on your actions. You are reflecting on your decisions. You are reflecting, there's a lot of reflection. Social work is all about reflection. Okay? So, even when you know that some decision that you're making is a right decision, you are reflecting on that decision. And naturally, I am someone who reflects. I am just like that. I don't know how to say it differently. Even before becoming a social worker, I've always been a very reflective person. Okay, so I don't just do something for the fun of doing it. And sometimes, even when I sometimes feel I've made some decisions, I still go back and reflect on my decisions. I reflect on my friendship. I am just naturally someone who reflects. I don't know how to say it differently. It's just who I am. So, and that's why I'm not very quick to making decisions. And when I make decisions, I've thought it through. Even the ones I've made, I still think it through. That's why the fact that I've thought it through. I'm constantly thinking. Anyway, without boring you, you see these Okoye brothers, there is a lot of lessons, particularly for those of you, whether you are in business, with your wife, with your loved one, with your brother, your sister, your friend, like myself, whoever you're in business with, or you are thinking of going into business, whether as a parent you want to go into business with your parent, with your children, whatever the situation is, I think it's important you come and learn from this. And if you have not watched yesterday's show that I did on the P Square Brothers, please go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. I actually had a major brand who reached out to me today. In short, today was one of my happiest day. I'm always happy, but today, Agbonwena, good morning, good evening. Sorry, I actually had one of the brand. In short, I didn't expect that brand to reach out to me, and today I found out. In short, today was the first time since I've opened YouTube, because obviously I'm just doing what I'm doing. But today, I found out about the general analysis of my page. Okay, there's a way YouTube does it. I don't know. Like, again, I'm just learning it. I will come and teach you guys. I found out about how YouTube does analysis on my page, and I'm not surprised, to be fair. But looking at the analysis, when they did the analysis, so obviously I got an email from a brand, and I was like, oh, okay. Me, I didn't even think much of it until I got a phone call. I didn't pay attention to the email. It was when I got the phone call, obviously I had to go and look at my email. And the brand is one of the big brands here. It's a financial big brand here, one of the financial, what do they call it? The financial institutions here in the UK. Well, they're based in UK, but they're actually American-based financial institutions. One of the big names, and they actually reached out to me. Apparently, yes, it's called a media kit analysis. I didn't, like I said, I wasn't paying attention. Me, I was just doing my own thing. So, but I mean, I can show you. There's nothing to hide. Anyway. So they called me. Apparently, they sent an email to me on Monday. But to be honest with you, I don't always check my personal email. So they sent an email to me on Monday. But obviously, I think they were expecting me to respond, which I had not responded. So I got a phone call this afternoon. And of course, when they got, so I was quite, anyway, spoke to them. Who is this? Like, is this Aproko with Cruz? And I was like, yes. And actually, they even call me better pass Auntie Funke. He say Aproko, and so I don't get phonetic name now. My phonetic name is Aproko. Do you understand the things of the spirit? Aproko. That's how they come and say Aproko. Anyway, so they reached out to me, and they were like, "Oh, we've seen your media kit analysis." I will try and remember the name that they called it now. That they've seen my media kit analysis. My page is very, very professional. Anyway, the Shah said, they analyze, and my page is very, very professional. And then they analyze the people who follow me. Like the category of people who follow me, something like that. And there's a very strong professional following. There's a lot of professional interest and following and viewing on my page. Again, to be honest with you, I have not paid attention. Today is the first time I've never really paid attention to the analysis of my page. It's just because I've just been doing what I'm doing, okay? Anyway, so I got it, and so I was asked to send some email. I was asked to send some things to them. I've sent it to them, and Of course, then they asked about my background. So I told them, about myself as an individual. This is what I've done. This is what I'm doing. Da, 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 da. This is the reason for opening my page. And of course, having said that, so they were like, okay, we had some conversations. Oh, thank you. So that's actually what the company was saying. So apparently, so anyway, so I, of course, immediately it dawned on me. So when they now started talking, blah, 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 blah. So I said, oh, hello, Koron, good evening. So they started talking and I said, okay. So I then had to say to them, look, I need to speak. I need to understand what you're doing. So anyway, they sent me some paperwork through the email. So I had to, of course, my friend that I do the travel business with is someone that I would naturally speak to about, like I would kind of like pick her brain. So I quickly reached out to her, picked her brain. In short, she was even more excited than I was, but I wanted, I'm that kind of person. I wanted to understand the whole thing. So anyway, sent the paperwork to them. No, they sent the paperwork to me, so I've got to look at it. I will take you through the journey. There's nothing to hide. I will take you through the journey, okay? I just want to wait. Once I understand what they've told me what they are looking for, and they've actually said my page matches everything. It ticks all their boxes. So hopefully, I don't know yet. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, this is my first time, so I don't know. When I started YouTube, I started YouTube 2022. To be honest, I never really used YouTube. I just did it basically from the angle of work, because at work, because of my role, we have to be on social media to do certain things. So obviously that was how I got into YouTube. But I never really used YouTube for anything. Even my Facebook page, I had a personal Facebook page in 2007, I think. And that time Facebook had just come, and I think around about that time, I opened Facebook. It was more of catching up with friends, long time no see friends, school classmates, da, 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 da. Then very quickly, I was working in an organization, and my Facebook page was used as an admin. I was kind of like doing admin for a Facebook page. No, it's not a scam. Good evening, N-Town. It's not a scam. So, I was using my Facebook page, and very quickly my Facebook page became very professional. I didn't even realize it wasn't page. Then Facebook changed it from profile to page. So anyway, the long and short of the story is my page. So obviously I had to, because of the nature of the kind of job I do, I had to remove everything that was personal. Every private information about me, like pictures of my, because I didn't have anything explicit, but I just had, just like any other thing with Facebook at the time, I had pictures, stuff like that. So I had to speak to my workplace, and, they were able to help me take away stuff. And anyway, so very quickly, my Facebook page very quickly became very professional. I couldn't necessarily use it for personal views anymore. Okay, so accidentally, I had a Facebook page. Accidentally, normally it was a Facebook profile I had, so I was an accidental, influencer, whatever. I don't know whatever they call it. So obviously, I've used it, and then of course, when we're doing there was an investigation I was doing, and that investigation led me to Maureen Badijo's show. Okay, that was how I got to know Maureen Badijo's show. That investigation was what led me there, and of course, I started paying attention, and of course, the rest they say is history. So up until then, I just used to just write my own things and just accidental social media creator. I would say, you're very correct in that. So I started doing my own thing, before then, I'm really on social media because I can't be bothered. I write on social media, but obviously I'm writing from the point of the role I was in, like educating. But I've always had passion in educating our African community. And that's because of the kind of job I do, because of the kind of interactions I have with the African community as a professional. So I've always known that there's a big gap there. There's a big gap of knowledge there. Okay, naivety. Permit me to say that there's a big gap of naivety in the African community. So that's something that has always kind of, I was quite passionate about resolving it. And I've written extensively on immigration, the impact of immigration policy. Like now we have no recourse to public fund with domestic abuse. That was one of the things I contributed to. I'm very, very academic on that angle. I've always been very, very academic. Anyway, So the longer, I'm just trying to like give you a background. So the longer short of it, until I, of course, like if I call into Auntie Aduni's show, or Maureen Badigo's show, then, I would, I was very, very professional in the way I handled things. So over time, I think one of the days, I think there was a time Auntie Aduni actually called me and said, Abro, go and open Facebook and go and open YouTube. And I said, I have a YouTube account. I said, but I rarely use it because because of my job. I'm very, very mindful and stuff like that. Anyway, long and short of it, after Auntie Aduni will not give me rest of mind, that was how I got into YouTube. But I mean, you all will remember my first YouTube. I was very, very, I was using like very, very strong professional languages. And of course, that cost me my page because I didn't understand the nitty-gritty or the fabrics around social media. So very quickly, I learned to deliver. I learned very quickly on how to deliver my what's the name, to present things with humor while I'm also being professional. Okay, but there's one thing I have always stuck with. I'm not on social media to come and be doing back and forth with anybody. All I'm on social media, I want people to learn. Okay, and there's a lot. That's me. That's a key thing for me. Learning is a key thing. I don't ever do show just for the fun of doing it. I want learning out of it. Okay, and there's a reason why I want that learning out of it. Like before people start asking, you did the MFM thing. Yes, I had to do it because there are questions. Yes, your battle is not my battle, but it's also important that we understand, defamation is not something you sleep and laugh about. Okay, if there's a reason, you would have seen it from the MFM interviews that I've done and the way I've analyzed it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But you can see, how very easily we are swayed by one story, single story narrative. And everybody tends to just believe things. And that seems to be the reality. A lot of times, who are you fighting this person? You are fighting someone else's battle. You don't even understand why you're fighting. You get yourself caught up in the law, all those things. Anyway, so the long and short of the story is, so one of the brand I was speaking to, there are actually four of them, but this particular financial brand I was talking about that I was in talk with today, it was all very professional, and so the brand I was talking to, they actually highlighted the show I did on P Square yesterday, and it was very, very. Yeah, so they were very, very, they highlighted key areas. Again, I just do my show, I would say I go back to watch it, but I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily, I pay attention to what I say, obviously, but it kind of come out. Anyway, the long and short of the story is, so I have that brand. I've passed the paperwork to my friend who is a legal practitioner, and I've also kind of spoken tentatively. I've sent an email to a legal consultant, on that angle, so I will understand it because I don't want to do what I don't understand. Then there's also two companies two companies strictly from leisure and travel content. They've reached out to me. Wait and see what that is. I don't know. I don't understand it. And then there's also a luxury brand who has reached out to me. Agba, when I will tell you, she sabi me, she has seen me. Me, I know sabi do makeup. I am my own. I just do what I enjoy doing. I am that kind of person. I'm a very freelance person. I do what I enjoy doing, and that's me. So, some people obviously have met me in person. So I'm just, what you see is what you get. If you have never seen me, go and check. Where will I say it? Go and look at what's the name? Go and look at my travel page. By the way, please kindly help me subscribe to Aproko Travel. Please help me get it to 50 subscribers so that I can start doing live there. There are a lot of tips I would love to share. I don't want to mix that with Aproko with cruise. Okay? So please kindly help me go and help me subscribe to the page. This is the page. Please, na beg, I dey beg. I know they do shakara. help me subscribe to the page. Help me take it to 50 subscribers. I think Facebook, once you have 50, once it's 50 subscribers, I'm able to do live stream on it. I want to be able to do streams that is specific for travels for Africans. You know, that is specifically for Africans. There's a reason why I'm looking at that particular area of travel, of information sharing. Again, it all ties up with what I'm doing. So yes, please help me subscribe to the page. Please, na beg, I beg, make una no vex. Yes, that is YouTube. Please help me subscribe to it. Help me take it to 50 subscribers, and then that way I can start doing YouTube streaming there. And then that one will be solely focused on travel, you know, tips, different things about travel. That will be solely for that. Now, and of course, once I'm going to be very, very transparent with the whole process of brand. Is it brand? What did they call it now? With a brand, is brand deals, if that's what they call it. Oh, you are here for traveling adventures, yes. So please help me subscribe to Aproko with Cruise. Aproko Travel. Please kindly help me subscribe to it, and that content to be strictly. No, is it brand ambassador they call it? I don't even know. When once it comes through, I will definitely share it. I'm going to be very transparent about it, so I will share it. There's nothing to hide. Brand deals and sponsorship, and they say gifting and waiting. I don't even know. One was even asking me, what kind of suitcase do you take when you are traveling? Now I tell them, I say, I say laughing. I say, I'm a social worker. Our backpack is what we are known for. We carry backpack. We carry cabin crew suitcase. And you see us because we're always on the move, you know. So that's it. Anyway, there's suitcase. I'll be waiting. Anyway, once it comes through, once there's something that comes through, I will definitely share that. The only one I can think of right now. Oh, thank you. The only one I can think of right now. No, it's backpack. Oh, you know that rucksack now. Rucksack. You know when there's always an inside joke in. There's an inside joke in social work. Social workers, our backpack is always heavy. You don't even want to know what is inside that backpack. Let us leave it where it is. And that's what that won't be. Now, there's suitcase. They said they are luxury. I can't even remember their name. They took my details and everything because they reached out to me. It was all through YouTube and stuff that they reached out to me. So like I said, I would carry you all along. There's nothing to hide. Okay? We rise by lifting others. I would carry everybody along. There's nothing to hide at all. Okay? There's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide. Then I know that I did the affiliate marketing. So M&S, is it M&S? There's M&S, there's STES. TY, I think. There's ST, there's M&S. I can't even remember their name. Anyway, they are sure there. They've been disturbing me to put stuff on my page. So I've ended up putting stuff there. It's all there. It's there to see. Anyway, so let's go to the P Square brothers. So I was just kind of like saying, I think what brought to all of this conversation is because, you know, the P Square. You say, am I a waiting? Am I a 419? 419 loan. Maybe it's me and you. Shebi, you are the one that is teaching me how to be what you are asking me if I am. Anyway, na normal. We go always see Orishi. In all the story that we are speaking, shall leave there. So, as I was saying, let's go to the P Square brothers. So, I'm sure you see the P Square brothers. I am not here. I'm not really interested in. I'm not necessarily interested in their. Yes, there's a family rift, but I think what is. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Please just help me keep subscribing. Help me keep sharing the travel page, and help subscribe. And definitely, there's a whole lot that I want to share on that. I don't want to mix it with the day-to-day page of Aproko with Cruise. So, like I was saying, you see the P Square brothers, there is a whole lot of lessons. There is a whole lot of lessons to learn from these guys. Now, you remember, when this whole thing started, I think it was last week it started. Peter came out and did part 1 to 8, part 1 to 8B. I don't know, let's say he never did part 9, but there's part 1 to 8B. Now, there were some things he was saying. Of course, over time, he don't turn yam pepper scatter for social media. There is people, some people are doing Team Peter, Team Paul, Team Jude. Me, I am not here to do team anything. Okay? I don't take side with any one of them. For me, I want us to learn. There are things that we need to learn. A lot of us are on P Square table. You see these Okoye brothers, a lot of us are on their table. A lot of us are doing businesses with our husbands, our wives. We are doing business with our wife, our husband, our cousins, our siblings, our loved ones. But we're not taking things, we're not necessarily paying attention to the legality of what we are getting ourselves into. Now, there is obviously ongoing legal proceedings, allegations. There's legal proceedings and allegations. I made a note. If you notice, I'm very, very good in doing notes. I'm looking at my notes as I'm talking. So, obviously, there's legal proceeding. They said they have a case in court. Remember, Jude was accusing Peter of never coming to court on the days that the court's hearings are there. And of course, that is now prolonging the case. His passport, according to Jude, he said his passport has been seized. And of course, that's not allowing him to travel abroad or do whatever he needs to do. Now, the purpose of this evening's conversation is for us. I want us to ask, what can ordinary families learn from this? You and I, ourselves, our friends, our husbands, wife, whatever it is, what can we learn from this? What can musicians learn from this? The entertainment industry. I am a musician. We have heard Yewande, what's her name now? Ajibade. Remember that this thing, she was talking about her husband's royalty. I think, yes. No, husband's intellectual property. Okay. Remember, she was saying that when she did that show with Asabe, and the question, they are all under MFM. So, can you actually claim royalty under that? So, just think about like some of the stories that we have thought about and let's learn from this. What can family business, those of us who go into family business, what can we learn from this? What can entrepreneurs, what can we learn from this? And what can brothers and sisters who decided to go into business, what can we learn from this P Square rigmarole? Because one of the biggest lessons I see in this situation is love is not a substitute for governance. Okay? Remember I said it yesterday. Love is not a substitute for governance. Okay? Family is different from business. Yes, you can be family, but don't get muddled up into business. Separate the role of family, separate it. And separate your business from being families. If you notice these three Okoye brothers, most of what, like Peter, when Peter did part 1 to 8B, some of the story he was talking about, even though the guy can't begin to cry for inside the story, he said, they call his wife, they say he married old mama, they say this. Exactly. End town. Don't worry, we'll come to that. He said they call his wife old mama, and they said his mother did one. They said his wife did one thing. His mother carry pastor and come. He said they call him pikin Omuale. Jude himself, he come outside. He say, Peter, all this grammar when you dey speak is so. Me self, before I born male pikin, you begin to insult me. Paul will never come talk his own. Okay, the one wey be yellow na the one wey yellow na be Paul. Paul never come talk him own. Okay, but one thing wey we know be say Paul first wife Anita and Peter the one wey wear sunglasses, him wife Lola and Anita, they be padi we dey see them padi for social media. Their children dey rigmarole together. Okay. So we don't know the cocoa of the cocos. Okay, even though the two brothers when they talk, we don't know, we shall not say the two of them. The first wife of Paul, Anita, and Lola, the two of them they rigmarole together. That one we know. So, but meanwhile, quarrel day between Paul, Peter, and Jude. Remember, they are Okoye brothers. You can love your brother, you can love your sister deeply, and still need a contract. That is, if you are going into business, make sure you have a written contract. Don't be like the Okoye brothers that sat down. They started doing entertainment, and they put na my brother. Despite the fact that they had money, they did not educate themselves after having money. You will think with all the money that they had, remember, go and watch my very first show. You will think with the amount of money that they made, they will polish themselves. Not just about dressing up. It's not about wearing designers. They will polish themselves and educate themselves legally about the entertainment industry that they find themselves. Okay? The likes of Wizkid self in high Sishege fire. He see the Sishege fire. Sometimes you go see say Wizkid go leave this tract for wetin be the name of this guy, Banky W and Tools Demuri, Captain Demuri. He go leave. You know, say to Wizkid na one sentence man he dey do. Kinon Porukwe, Kiss Daniel. You see that one they do loner. He dey do one man soldier. He dey waka up and down. They using ITC Pepe. Kinon Poruko baby. Omawumi in himself Sishege fire. All of them for music industry, all of them get case to talk. Entertainment, movie industry too, all of them get story to talk. Okay, every AK market day, people they call Funke Akindele out, but of course they get social media to suppress them. Okay, so now so it be. You can, like I said, you can trust your sister completely and still need audited accounts. Imagine the Okoye brothers, from everything that they have said, we know yes, say they do audits. Peter said, bam, in sit down. Suddenly, he can't begin to notice, say, money, they fly up and down. He don't stand anywhere or sit anywhere, tell us, say, they don't audit. Say, now every year, they audit this account. He notice on the first year. And he ask some question say, waiting. You know, talk that one. Now, Paul too, Paul no even that one a press statement. That one they used to dey follow everybody talk. Then even Kinon Porukwe, but that Jude say in call Njoku, that is I Rocking TV. Njoku na marry Njoku husband. He call her. He said they transfer money to north side, and they transfer money. He can't carry the money. He can't share her. He and Peter he and Paul can't share. He said Peter call Njoku. He tell Njoku make he pay him own separately. If they get auditor, if they are open, if they get yearly audits or quarterly audits, all of these things they don't go on social media. Can't they talk am? Because social media is not the court of law. Okay, so there's a lot of legal illiteracy in what they've said, and one will begin. If you are someone who is very reflective and savvy, you would know that their case. Forget about their family problem. That one is their family wahala. I'm not interested in whether their mother loved them or their father does not love them. That will not concern me. The cocoa of the matter is how did they get here? As people who were in the industry, who were running business together. Their senior brother Henry, that one say he was the one that financed them. He said they tell am say they go give am 20%. When the OT come blow, all of them shrank am. The three of them, they shrank their brother. Okay? So all of those things he did there, but there is nowhere wey Henry show us written agreement. Tony too come. Tony say Tony too come. Osas, I understand. If you go and watch the very first show I did, all of them, the three of them, there is no saint among the three of them. Okay, the three of them, they are as bad as each other. Make we leave that one way down one day. Tony too come, the immediate senior brother of Paul and Peter. That one come. He say they dance. He say all the just go dance where he dance. He say he come dey do artist. I mean, waiting. He no tell us whether they pay am money, whether they pay am money for every dance step wey he do, whether they pay. They no tell us anything. We shall dey hear win. Then we dey hear for the back of the scene. The main people wey get cocoa now na Peter, Paul, and Jude. Okay, so those are the three focus, and there are some key things that came out from all that they were saying. So let us pay attention. You can respect an older sibling. Okay, remember saying that Jude is senior all of them. You can respect an older sibling and still need to understand the company's bank account. Don't let anybody do. Don't you know I'm your senior? How can you be disrespecting me? Do you not know I senior you? You know, say we are Africans. We sabi talk that grammar way. We sabi do, yes sir. There's no problem. Even Baba Deboye, he dey talk and he say when people they ask him, title offering, I say kinikan, he say he tell them, say you want to see the title offering? He say yes. Now I say I gave it to them, and when I gave it to them, then they came and then something begin to happen, and I said then they came to me, daddy, kinikan. I said, don't worry, I just reported you to my daddy. Ole lo njebe. Okay, because he's daddy Gio, it doesn't mean it cannot be audited. Okay, so some of the things where our pastors they talk from mouth, those things are financial recklessness. That's what is called in a professional term. It is financial recklessness. In the Western country, all those grammar way that the Adeboye they talk, they no born and way. When Redeem get kasala for here, why you no begin they tell Charity Commission all this grammar way they tell them? Why you no tell Charity Commission the same grammar? He had to go by the books. Ashimolowo, he went by the books. Oyedepo, when no gree go by the books, one dema go see Nigeria. Okay? You don't do, God will fight for me and I will hold my peace. No. Your accountability is key. Okay? So, documentation does not destroy family relationship. Sometimes documentation is what protects them. Imagine if the Okoye brothers had done everything in a legal way. Imagine if they've done everything in a very streamlined compliance way. All of this story that Peter came outside to come and be yarning social media, and the answer when Jude they give them, they don't need social media to be saying it. As a matter of fact, them coming out on social media has shown how naive they are. It has shown how naive they are and how financially reckless they are in the way they manage their business. Saying that someone is financially reckless does not mean that they spend money anyhow. If you don't make the right financial decision, you might have a lot of money in your account, but if you don't make the right financial, if you don't go through the normal due process of what you're supposed to do as a business, it is called financial recklessness. Okay? Now, lesson number 1. Let us come to it. Who or what exactly was P-Square? Remember I was asking a very important question. Now, I want to dive into it. Who or what exactly was P-Square? Remember, when we say P-Square, I'm very sure now if I ask all of you now, who is P-Square? The first thing all of you will say is Peter and Paul. Okay? Even me myself, that's what I would originally say. Peter and Paul. Exactly, in town. Thank you. Now, let's begin with what sounds like simple question. What exactly was P-Square? Most member of the public probably will say Peter and Paul, which is true. But from a business perspective, that is not enough. Was P Square, that's the question we should be asking, was P Square simply artistic partnership between Peter and Paul? Or from all that they are saying, none of them has answered that question. Okay? Or was P Square a registered company? We don't know that. We don't know whether they're just artistic partnership. Whether it's just an artistic partnership between Peter and Paul. Okay, we'll use the stage name. Okay? Or was P Square a registered company? We don't know that. Was the intellectual property owned personally by Peter and Paul? Remember all the songs they've sang. Do they have intellectual property to it? If you remember, if you can recollect, Paul has granted interviews several times, the one on yellow. He has granted interviews several times to say that he is the one that does singing, that he is the one who is very good in singing. And his brother, indirectly, his brother is not good, which is Peter. They have companies registered in UK, but we are talking of the Nigerian context. Remember, they started from Nigeria. They can have companies in the UK. Of course, UK system will only address what is done in UK. Okay? But in Nigeria, remember they started from Nigeria. Okay? So that's a different ball game entirely. Now, remember these guys, they started from dancing back in the days of St. Murumbas. Okay? They started from dancing back in the days of St. Murumbas. So the chances that their name, P Square, of course, they are Ijima. Okay? They are twins. They are Ibeji. So it's just natural. Peter, most people tend to name their twin kids. They name them similar alphabetical letters. Okay? So it could be that, okay, Peter and Paul, you be one, no be two. Remember that? So we don't know. But me is saying that unfortunately, P Square isn't a registered company. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's factual. I don't know, to be honest. Now, the two of them, Peter has always said he is the one that sings. Whether he's the one that writes the music, I don't know. Okay? But the two of them has never spelled out that. When I say spell it out, I'm talking of them spelling it out legally. N-Town is not as simple as that. There's quite a lot of complications to this case. Okay? Yes, they can talk about intellectual property in the UK. Both of them do not have a UK-based address. And I can promise you the address they are using is probably rental address. It's not a UK-based address. And both of them are not residents of the UK. That's another thing. That's another topic entirely. Because a lot of people too make these mistakes. Okay. So, we don't know who owns intellectual property in the so-called P Square. Is it Peter? Is it Paul? We don't know. Or is it even Jude? We don't know. Okay? Did another company own or administer the music? That's another key question. Remember, Peter was talking about Northside Entertainment. He also mentioned Northside Music. Just hold on to that. I will be explicit. What rights belongs to Square, to the P Square record label? What rights belong to them? We don't know. Okay? What rights belong to Northside Entertainment? Remember, Northside Entertainment is owned by Jude. And remember, Peter said Jude manages them. So is it Northside Entertainment that is managing P Square? If that is the case, who owns P Square? Okay? And at what stage did Northside Entertainment starts managing P Square? Okay? What was the agreement? What was the contract behind that? Hello, Jem Jem, how are you? Yes, enter. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm making. If you watch the video I did yesterday, this is more or less like a continuation. Okay. Now, these are very important questions. What right, if any, belongs to their manager? Remember, their manager is Jude. The manager of P Square is Jude. Remember, Peter and Paul have also highlighted that they have their individual managers, but Jude is just the overall manager. What is the meaning of that statement that they made? Okay, because if you go back and watch Peter's video, even if you go back and watch Jude's video, not this year, when they first started their kasala, even Paul said the same thing, that they have their individual managers and Jude is managing them together. Okay, so the question is, Jude is managing them as what? Is he managing them as Northside Entertainment? Or is he managing them as Northside Music? Are they under his record label? At what stage did Jude open Northside? What was the agreement? Did all three brothers understand the agreement that led to Northside? Where is Northside generating their funds for? The music that P Square produced, is it an intellectual property of Northside Entertainment, or Northside Music, or P Square? Who actually has that intellectual property? Is it a case that Northside, I'm just asking, is it a case that Northside Entertainment is managing P Square and royalty is being paid to Northside Music? Remember, Peter mentioned Northside Music. And also remember, Peter also said, and so did Cynthia Morgan, and so also did Jude, also attest to the fact that at some point he signed Cynthia Morgan, and he also signed Mehdi, I think Mr. Mehdi or something. He signed. So who signed them? Did he sign them as P Square? Did he sign them as Northside Entertainment? Did he sign them as Northside Music? So you can begin to see how it's becoming complicated. Okay? You can begin to see how it's becoming very complicated now. Now, this distinctive matters a lot. Okay? Published reports, let's look at it. The published reporting of Peter Okoye. Okay, I'm reading from my note that I made. The public report, we're not back. It's not about their drama. We're doing reflections. It's more of a continuation of what I was talking about yesterday. I missed out something, so I'm here to come and contribute to that. So the public reporting of Peter Okoye, which he just did recently, testimony says it confirmed that Northside Entertainment Limited operated as a management company, while Square Record Limited operated as a record label. You can see their name is P Square. Their entertainment name is P Square. Northside Entertainment operated as a management company, why Square Record? So Square Record is a record limit. Square Record Limited, which is the one I don't know. It's all very complicated. Square Record Limited operated as a record label. So there's this record label that is known as Square Record. Okay, you can begin to see how complicated it is. He also testified that he and Peter were not simply artists, but had ownership interest in the company handling these businesses. That was according to Punch, right? Now, as much as the statements he made is interesting, he now raises a very important question. Guess what? A successful brand needs a legal identity. If three brothers are working together, everybody should know their own trademark. Okay? So the question is, who owns the trademark? Remember, there is Northside Entertainment that is managing, there is a management company, Y Square Record Limited, operated as a record label. So the question is, who owns the trademark? Okay, who owns the recording? Remember now, you remember they are known as P Square. Then there's Northside there's Northside Entertainment. There is Northside Music, Northside Music. Then there is Square Record Limited. You can see it's becoming complicated. Who owns the publishing? Right? Who owns the catalog? Remember Peter talked about catalog, right? Who receives performance income? Are you understanding the things of the spirit now? Who receives digital royalty? Remember, there is Northside Music. Remember, there is Square Record Limited. And there's also Northside Entertainment. Right? All of these operated side by side when, what's the name? When they were still doing P Square. You can see how very quickly this is becoming complicated legally. Who receives management fees? Who pays expenses? And who has authority to enter contracts? Remember, Peter made a comment. He said that he went and looked for a contract. He said, but Jude signed a contract. Okay? Remember all those words. There was no social media at the time, or social media was just brewing then. It's not like what it is now. Bright Wazy, you never see anything. These things should depend upon. These things shouldn't depend upon, but it's my brother. Because that's what all of them are doing. Now my brother, Jude is my brother, Peter is my brother, Paul is my brother. Now he lead all of them to where all of them dey now. Because 10 years later, people's memory can be completely different. And that's what we are seeing. Where Jude is accusing Peter of being manipulative. Paul himself, Peter is accusing Paul of being on Jude's side. Okay? And then brother Henry, their older brother, that one say now Tumokpo. Now Jude they use for Peter. Sorry, they use for Jude, for Paul. You can see now my brother, and I carry all of them reach where they all of them did now. Now, upon reflection, let us think about this question. If you went into business with your brother or sister tomorrow, would you insist on a written agreement? Hold that in your head. Let that be ringing, bagang. Whether you are doing business with your friend, your wife, whoever it is you are doing business with, would you insist on written agreements? Hello, Isa, how are you? Let that be Rocky. Now, the second question, the second lesson here is management is not automatically ownership. Right? Management is not an automatic ownership. And this is another very important distinction. It's good to differentiate between management and ownership. Managing an asset does not automatically mean you own that asset. Okay? Suppose I own a hotel. Now I have hotel. A lot of us, we dey do am. Some of us get real estate business. We have Airbnb business. We have a realtor business. Now we get the business. Now our brother and our sister dey help us dey manage am, or our cousin when they come, they do ready, and rather you come, they hear, what is your own? Emma Jeka Jobi Chuka, don't let us scatter the family. They will come, they do family meeting when we no do things the right way. So for instance, for those of us where maybe we get hotel, we get Airbnb, we say, oh yeah, my brother, my sister, come and help me manage this thing, because I live in Nigeria, I live in the abroad, I live in UK, you live in Nigeria, help me manage. Then of course, that your brother will help you manage, that your sister, that whoever it is will help you manage, him go hire staff. Now him go negotiate with supplier. Remember saying na him dey on ground. And if you notice, on social media we don hear so many story of my family did this to me. He shaking it can. Now that person when you say help me look after my Airbnb, help me look after my property, help me look after my hotel, na him go hire staff, right? Na him go negotiate with suppliers, right? Na him go negotiate with suppliers, na him go manage bookings, na him dey control day-to-day expenditures, and even has authority over bank accounts. Right? Na him get authority over bank account, because of course you need him or her to have free access so that they can disburse money. They can have easy cash flow, and he has easy access to finances. That does not automatically make that your brother, that your sister, the owner of the hotel. Unfortunately, sometimes it is difficult. A lot of us enter into contact with our brother, our sister without agreement at all. Okay, come and look at it. I have this hotel. You can't use verbal. You can't do word of mouth. When you and your brother come begin they do, when you come begin they walk past your power, you can't they vex. Did you do the things legally? The answer is no most times. You have to put distinction, right? You have to differentiate your relationship from your business. Even if you want to make your family member, your wife, your pikin help you manage something, you need to have written agreements, legal written agreements that stipulates everybody's right and responsibility, what they can and what they cannot do. An artist can own intellectual property, right? While another person manages the commercial business surrounding it. Okay, let me come back again on that. An artist can own intellectual property while another person manages the commercial business surrounding it. So let's say for talking sake, Peter and Paul can own their intellectual property, okay, while Jude manages the commercial businesses around it. But if you actually look at what Peter is saying, if you listen to what Peter is saying, what Paul is saying, what Jude is saying, that does not seem to be the case for them. Right? But here is where things become complicated. Now, according to Peter in February 2026, according to the testimony he gave in Punch, right? This was documented in Punch. Peter said that Jude held approximately 40% of Northside Entertainment, while Peter said he held roughly 30%. Although Peter reportedly said he could not confirm the precise figure. Okay? So, in Northside Entertainment, Jude owned 40%. Peter said he owns 30%, but cannot confirm the precise figure. This was according to Punch in February 2026. What this simply means is that we should not oversimplify this as merely artist versus manager, because it's not just about Okoye's now. Remember, Peter is an artist. Jude is a manager, according to their agreements, to their verbal agreements. Okay? They were apparently ownership relationship within within at least one of the companies as well, you can begin to see how complicated it's getting. Hey. And that created another question, right? So within the P Square, within the Square Record label, Record Limited, Northside came in, right? And then the question now is, what exactly did these shares entail each shareholders to do? What exactly was the share all about? Right? Shares is a management company. Shares in a management company are not necessarily the same thing as ownership of artist music catalog. Right? That you own a share does not mean you have ownership. Right? These are two different things. These are two different assets. Having shares in a company does not automatically make you the owner of that company. I hope you are clocking it. This is what family needs professional advice for. Remember when I first did their show, I said all three of them, they are all very, very guilty. Despite the fact that they were making money. Yes, forget about whether they did diploma or they did not do diploma. The fact remains, they should have at least polished themselves up. Start paying attention. At least they should have even gone to go and study. They didn't have to go to school physically. They can do like evening classes. They can do like, they can even go to business schools to go and learn. But na lie, they choose to do na my brother. If they had legal advice and professional advice, trust me, the things that they are saying, they will not come and be saying it in public because it shows their naivety. Their lawyer should have explained to them. If they had gone for legal advice, their lawyer should have explained to each of them what they own, what the company own, what their manager own, and what their record label own. And this is what happens to royalties. And this is also what happens. And they will also ask them, they would have had advice about royalties. Then they will also have advice when they go their separate way, which they've all gone their separate ways now. Legal advice would have guided them through what would have happened to them. Right now, Peter is Mr. P. Rude boy is Paul is rude boy. I don't know what Jude they do. But all three of them, they went their separate ways. But who is still collecting the royalty? They are distributing it. The way they are distributing is actually how they are supposed to be distributing, following the fact that they've now gone their separate ways. A professional advice would have helped them. A professional advice would have helped them address this. Or SARS, you are asking, what happened to their lawyer's input? From the way Peter talks, it seems like every typical Africa and Nigerians, let us be honest. It is when there is trouble that we go and meet lawyer. And the lawyer is only addressing what needs to be addressed at that time. Remember, the way they are talking, they are not going to the nitty-gritty. They're just talking, the way they are presenting, the way Peter is presenting Paul and Jude, they are presenting it as if they are still talking on a family round table. They are not talking about the concerns from the angle of professionalism. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. They are not talking about it from a professional discussion. They are talking about it more from a family rift. I hope you understand now. So, and this is why I am, most of the shows that have been done is mainly focusing on their family. To me, that's not my interest. There is more to this than just family. There is more to it than their mother is good, their father is bad. There's more to it. Let's look at it from the business, because a lot of us are on this table. A lot of us are on this table. A lot of us make this mistake daily, yearly. Yeah, of course, I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, the truth is, you see all these questions wey Peter dey ask now, this question should have been asked if they were opening themselves to yearly auditing. If there was professional advice, because if they do yearly financial audits, right, or financial reviews, most of the things that Peter was raising in his part 1 to 8b, a lot of those questions would have been answered from the very beginning. Even this thing that we're talking about, different company within companies and company, all of that, a professional audit company would have asked different questions. How are they distributing money? They would put lens, they would put a microscope on it. All of us know, for those of us in the management role, we know say when they won't do audits, you and I understand, we understand the things of the spirit. Say they come up for office on time. No matter now you go dey sweat. Even when AC dey, you go dey sweat. Even when fan dey, you go dey sweat. Nobody should be discovering anything at later time. They should not be discovering it because there's litigation. Because that's what is going on now. Peter don carry him brothers go EFCC. They come begin dey shalaye, they give themselves. All of these things were avoidable. Now, lesson number 3. This is the come and pay attention. Lesson number 3. North side entertainment versus north side music. Remember say Peter e dey shalaye this thing well. He say Jude open north side entertainment. He say later he come open north side music. He say na him wife na be one thing come begin dey speak grammar. Now, all of these things, at what stage did Jude open north side entertainment? And at what stage did he open north side music? What was the agreement? Were his brothers aware? Is it just something that he did? Again, like I said, I am not here to come and blame anybody. I'm not team anybody. I'm just here for us to learn, because even me myself, I dey learn. Okay? Now, we come to what I believe is one of the most important area for reflection. Don't be a learner. Come and clock it. There are 2 names appearing in public reporting. Right? You have Northside Entertainment Limited. Right? And also, you have Northside Music Limited. These 2 names, they are very similar. Okay? Entertainment, music, na the same thing. But legally, these 2 companies can be completely separate entity, even when their names sound similar. Okay? So, we need to ask, what was Northside Music Limited created for? And why was it created? Do you get it? Make a drink water. Ọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́rọ̀ ò ní kó bá mi. Now, what was Northside Music created for? And why was it created? What was the stated corporate objectives of Northside Music Limited? Who were its original shareholders? Remember, Peter said it was that the Northside Music was registered under the accountant, account holder, of Jude. Now, who be the shareholder? Who are the shareholders of Northside Music Limited? Remember, Peter also accused Jude that his wife owns 500%, I mean 1000%, I don't know, I can't remember. So remember all those story. Who are the directors of Northside Music Limited? Remember, Peter insinuated that it was a wife of Jude that is the director. That one self don't do distracts. 80%, thank you. Then, when exactly was it incorporated? When exactly was Northside Music Limited incorporated? What contract did it enter? Are you clocking the questions? How did it relate, if at all, to Northside Entertainment? Are you understanding the things of the spirits? Are you understanding the things of the spirit now? Because there is Northside Entertainment Limited and Northside Music Limited. How are they related, if at all, to Northside Entertainment? Remember, Peter said Northside Entertainment was a management for Square Record Limited. Now, there's also Northside Music Limited. You can see how complicated things have now become. This question cannot responsibly be answered merely from interview or social media arguments, because we don't know. Okay? Ideally, we need to examine the company's incorporation documents and relevant CAC record. And according to Tribune, CAC originated documents became an issue during the proceeding. During that, say Peter said the case dey court. Paul said the case. Jude said the case dey court. Now, according to CAC, according to to Tribune, CAC originated document became an issue during proceeding, with reports stating that certain documents the defense attempted to introduce were rejected by court because of evidential admissibility issues. That does not itself determine what this document ultimately prove about the company. When Jude tried to present the document of Northside Music Limited, the court rejected it. Okay? Because of evidential issues. You can see how things are becoming very complicated now. So here's an important distinction. We can ask, what was Northside Music established to do? But unless we have an authenticated corporate document before us, we should not pretend we know its complete memorandum or objective. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Evelyn. I'm greeting you all as you are greeting me. Una dey see how things become easily complicated. The big question now is, what was a commercial relationship? The big business question now is, what was a commercial relationship between Northside Entertainment Limited and Northside Music Limited? Remember, the court rejected the document that Jude was trying to presented for Northside Music Limited. Because if Northside Entertainment was managing P Square, but money associated with P Square subsequently entered another corporate structure, which is Northside Music Limited, there needs to be documentation explaining why. And if you pay attention, remember, Peter said some money was paid. No be small something. Even if you go put am for I say I carry and go Google. There was nothing to tell me what the document was, because I was very keen to see what the document was saying. So you can see Peter said it was that some money was paid into Northside Music Limited. Go back and watch that Peter's part 1 to 8b. He talk am for there. So there's a lot of questions here. Perhaps there was legitimate contractual agreement, we don't know. Okay? Is there licensing agreement? We don't know. Is there an assignment? We don't know. We don't know what Northside Music was all about. But remember that same Northside Music Limited signed up Cynthia Morgan. No be small something. Or is it even a case that the Northside Music Limited is what is even causing the big rigmarole on a business angle? We do not know. Yeah, royalty. So there's so much here. You can see how there's a lot of lesson to highlight here. And this is why documentation matters. Don't just say it's my brother, it's my sister. Always document what you are doing. Now, let us now come and talk. Follow the money, but don't jump to conclusion. Remember, Peter was talking about money. He was following the money. Now, don't let us jump into conclusion. Because say their case not be just Okoye brother. They are not just Okoye brothers, they are also business partners. Whether they are business partners, whether it is Jude who overshadowed them, say everything they were doing will be one, no be two. Now they do. Oh yeah, no one like you. Personally, they dance. All of us they dance to their music. We no say ashe they be Otue. You know what they call Otue? Yeah. Let's imagine a simplified business structure. Right? P-Square created music. Northside Entertainment managed P-Square according to them. Square Record label. Square Record handled recording. A distribution distributes the music. A publisher administered publishing. Streaming platform generated revenue. Right? Collection organization collected royalty. Fine. Now introduce another company. Remember, this one na Northside Entertainment. Now they can introduce another company. The name of the company is called Northside Music Limited. The immediate governance question you should be asking is, what services Northside Music Limited providing? Shey you don begin dey say and say, as you don join Maika oyigbese repete, make you no be say na Henry na go collect everything last. Make you no be say all of them go get gbese. Because remember say early invested, they comot shock absorber for im leg. May no be say that will go get correct lawyer. Na that one na all of day they go forfeit everything wey they don work for. They go carry and give Harry. Hope no be say Harry na go get last laugh last. If Northside Music receive money, we should be able to identify the contractual basis for receiving the money. Remember say iRocking paid Northside Music Entertainment, and that money, according to wetin Peter show us, and that money Jude paid Paul money from Northside Music Entertainment. You can see how the thing is beginning to warn around. He's beginning to sound funny. The question now that we should be asking is, was Northside Music a record label? Was he a publisher, a royalty administrator, a distributor, an intellectual property holding company, a management company, or providing some other service? Because business don't simply ask what the simply don't business don't simply ask who received the money. Remember, things don't begin the day complicated. Instead, business will ask what underlying contractual right entitles that company to receive the money. Eh, hello, honey babe, how are you? Honey babe, how are you? Eh, end town, that one sef another complicated issue, because May D was signed, Mr. D, I mean May D, he was signed under Northside Entertainment, but na Northside Music Limited dey pay am money, no be small something. No be so this thing wey we dey gbejo so no be small something. So the question be say, which contract na Northside Music Limited get with Northside Entertainment, Square Record label? Wetin e get with them, we no know. This question na the matter we still dey settle. Now let's come to royalty questions. This one is particularly important because royalties are central to the dispute reported in courts. The case wey carry them go court na all on down to royalty. All the rigmarole story wey dey talk is all down to royalty. Now, according to Vanguard, right? According to Vanguard in 2025, Peter has testified that concerns arose over revenue associated with P Square, allegedly being paid into account associated with Northside Music. Remember, Peter even said it too when he was doing this part 1 to 8b. He said, let me read what I said. Peter has testified that concerns arose over revenue associated with P Square allegedly being paid into account associated with Northside Music rather than the established business arrangements. That allegation is disputed and forms part of the ongoing proceeding. It should therefore not be treated as a judicial finding. Right? That was one of the wahala wey carry them go court. He said their money, that P Square money, was being paid into Northside Music Music Limited. Remember, Peter said that it is Northside Entertainment Limited that is managing Square Record Limited. How Northside Music come take enter, we no know. Now, according to EFCC, in this day newspaper, EFCC case has included allegation concerning digital distribution, which is royalty, I'm guessing, and publishing. Concerning digital distribution and publishing royalties received by Northside Music Limited. Jude Okoye and the company have pleaded not guilty. So EFCC made an allegation. The EFCC case has an allegation that royalties and digital distribution was paid to Northside Music Limited. Of course, Jude pleaded not guilty. We don't know the end of the story because they are still in court. Now that time I will go take know wetin dey happen. So instead of declaring the money belongs to this person, it is better to educate ourselves. And the big question we should be asking is, what was the revenue generating assets? Right? If the money came from P Square songs, who own the master recording? Una see say the case don dey get K-leg now. Remember, it was Northside Entertainment Limited that manages Square Record Limited. Now, their digital distribution and royalty is being paid to Northside Music Limited. Right? So that the big question is, who owns the master recording? Abi Jude don share gbogbo wọn ní corner ni, we don't know, because they were all doing Okoye brother. Who own the publishing rights? All those music wey dey upload digitally, who own the publishing rights? Was it Northside Music Limited that was publishing the music? Right? Was it Northside Music Limited that was publishing the music? Is it a case that Peter and Paul were recording music under Northside Music Limited? Now, who owns the license rights? Is it Northside Music Industry Limited? We don't know. Who appointed the distributors of their digital songs? Who appointed the royalty collectors? You can see how it's becoming very complicated. What percentage was payable to each party? Was there an administration fee? Was there a management commission? Was there a written agreement authorizing another company to collect those revenue? If they had documents, this would have told them all about their business arrangement. But instead, they do na my brother. You can see. Now, there is a potential governance gap. And this will bring me to what I describe as potential governance lacuna. I heard the new word yesterday, lacuna. I was trying to understand the legality of it. Now I hear saying lacuna. L-A, Lima Alpha Charlie Uniform November Alpha. Lacuna. Go and read about it. I don't get sense. At the time my friend yesterday, then she said, where did you hear that from? I say, where did I hear that for? Because you be legal practitioner, you think I no go hear English. I have to hear. You see, this case is of a particular interest to me because I'm in a business with my friend. It's a case of particular interest to me. Imagine this arrangement. Company A manages the artist, but company B receives revenue generated by those artists. That arrangement is not wrong automatically. There could be a perfectly legitimate contract between company A and company B. That is Northside. Let's assume it is Northside Entertainment Limited and Square Record Limited. Let's assume that there's an arrangement between them. But there must be a bridge explaining that. Let us now put in the context of these guys. What does a Northside management, why does Northside Entertainment Limited receive money? Right? The bridge could be is a licensed company, it's a publishing agreement. It could be that Northside Entertainment Limited has a licensing agreement with Square Record Limited. It could be that they have a publishing agreement. It could be that they have a distributing agreement, or they have an assignment or royalty collection agreement, or they have another contract. Without such documentation, confusion becomes almost inevitable. So the lesson, and that is what we are seeing, where there is concern, they are saying Northside Music Limited now don't begin to collect money. The question now is, Northside Entertainment now they are receiving money. Music Entertainment is they receive money. Peter say no say they receive money. You see how wahala dey. So the lesson here is every movement of intellectual property revenue should have a documented legal and accounting basis. You see why I said they were naive. N-Town, you took the word off my mouth. N-Town, You took the words off my mouth. See the kind kasala wey all of them put themselves inside. You see the kind kasala wey they carry themselves put inside. You can see, despite the fact that they had money, they had all of this, they did not know what to do. See me see danger, danger, wahala. Actually, na because of themselves did they sing that song. I should say that song with the ring for their head now. Now we now come to why periodic audit matters. That is if they have done the right thing. Now, remember yesterday I was talking about the importance of periodic audit advice, right? Where the periodic financial review would have opened up a lot of things. It would have addressed a lot of these questions that Peter, Paul, and Jude would have. Most of these things, they for don't settle them, whether in court or out of court, they for don't settle them. Now, a successful international business should ideally have regular financial reporting. Remember what I said yesterday? I said P Square, that P Square name, you can indirectly call it the Jackson 5 of Africa. They were a big brand. They were just these young boys in St. Murumba's Jos who grew to become a global brand name. But unfortunately, my brother, my sister, no let them do things the right way. Imagine if every quarter the Okoye brothers, imagine if they receive revenue statements. Imagine if they receive streaming income statements, publishing income statements, performance royalty statements, consent income statements, sponsorship, management expense, company expense, tax liability, amount owed to each other shareholder. Imagine if they add all the nitty-gritty, related third-party transaction. Then once every year, independently prepare or audited account. Imagine they had all of this in place. Wahala no go dey. Anybody that has question, they answer that question straight away from saying it. Any problem wey they notice, they go address am straight away. Unfortunately, they waited. Look at when they started. Look at when they are now opening their mouth to be doing yo-yo-ya. Imagine anybody wey they wan give their audit paperwork to now, that person go come start from when they don start to now. Imagine the kind wahala. An accountant isn't an enemy of the family trust. Instead, an accountant is there to help you answer any doubt you have, to give clarity to any question you have, to help you understand anything you are doing. I hope you say Burna Boy no go come back tomorrow, come begin to shout yo-yo-ya. I hope so. Wetin be the name of this girl? Adekunle Gold and Simi. I hope they no go come begin to speak grammar. Who be that again? Kiss Daniel. Anyway, that one na once in a blue moon, that one they talk. I hope you say that one self no go come because na him brother na dey marry am, na dey manage am. I hope you say that one no go cause kasala. An auditor does not accuse anybody of stealing. They are just there to report what they've seen, and they will ask questions. All of us know, those of us with the management rule, if when you have to audits, like those of us in civil service, we get internal audit every quarterly. You go begin to speak grammar. No dey funny. Financial oversight protects everyone, including the manager. For instance, this one wey Peter dey say, I don help Cynthia Morgan see him money. We don't know whether true you see the money. The manager can say, here are the account, here is the invoice. Manager go give everything out. Documentation protects innocent people too. It protects everybody. This one wey they call themselves out, maybe they didn't need to call themselves out if they have done the right thing. You can see that the fact that you get money no mean say person get common sense. All three brothers, common sense was lacking in their case. Now let us reflect. What should the Okoye brothers have done Peter, Paul, and Jude, including Henry, all of them, what should they have done? But let us focus on these three, because now the three of them open company. Now the three of them, they do rigmarole together. Number one, defend P Square legally. They should have defined P Square legally. Unfortunately, they did not do that. There should have been comprehensive documentation establishing exactly what the P Square partnership or brand represents. From all the story where they talk, there is nothing to that effect. Who owns the name? You know, say yesterday they asked, I say, who be P Square? If we want to talk, and I go say, it's Peter and Paul. Are they truly the owner of P Square? Is it them that owns P Square? Is it Jude that owns P Square? Is it even one of them that we don't know? We don't really know who owns P Square. Who owns the catalog? We don't know. Who owns Masters? We don't know. Who owns publishing? We have no answer. What happened if Peter leaves? Right now, Peter don't leave. He dey do Mr. P. What happens if when Rude Boy leave, as in Paul, the one on yellow, when he too comot, wetin happen? We no know. Jude too, when he comot, we no know wetin happen. All of them don't bring Gary. What actually happens to all of them? Do they still maintain the equal right? We don't know. Are they equal owners? We don't know. Should each of them be receiving royalties or whatever? We don't know. They need to separate ownership from management, which obviously, from what we are saying, we can see that they have never done that. Peter and Paul are performers, while Jude was their manager. And any of them as shareholders. What are their legal capacity and responsibilities? We don't know. So basically, one of them should have defined it. If they defined P Square properly, it could have been a case that Peter and Paul are defined as performance. Jude legally is defined as a manager. And then they define who shareholders are. They also define the three of them, they define their legal rights and responsibilities. They also define their various legal capacities. For instance, one of them could potentially occupy more than one role, but each should be separately documented. But from the look of things, they didn't do that. Right? They should have given their manager, Jude, Northside Entertainment, they should have given their manager a written management agreement. From the look of things, that did not seem to be the case. For instance, in Nigerian Eye, that was in 2026, Peter testified that he acknowledged that Jude's let me read it. So Peter testified that he acknowledged that Jude's managerial appointment wasn't documented to a formal employment letter or written document. Can you see? They did not document it. It was all verbal. And Peter admitted this in court, that it was never documented, it was just verbal. They just agreed. They just said it verbally. Oh yeah, my senior brother, come and manage us. And that was where it ended. Ojimo, why were you there since morning? Written agreement, as how? MOU, like, it be like say you don't understand the things of the spirit. For a business of P Square's eventual scales, that is humorous, that is a big lesson. For the level, imagine they grew their brand, they grew the P Square business, but they did not have the right structures in place. Governance was inside the bin. Agreement should have specified management commission, authority, duration, termination, expense, all the basics, conflict of interest, like all this north side entertainment and north side music. If they had management agreement, that would have rectified all of this. Financial reporting, intellectual property limitation and dispute resolution, all of that should have done it. But they didn't do it. They would have created a board structure, board of trustee. They would have had structures. I'm very, very sure if you go and check, wallahi, they don't get them. Right? They should have, instead of doing family meeting, where Paul they slap Peter, they would have had board members who would have structured them, who would have directed and redirected and held all of them accountable. They don't put that one in place. Instead, what they were busy doing was, okay, oh yeah, Paul, come to my house. Oh yeah, Peter, come to my house. Then Jude himself, he said, come. If you are coming to my house, oh yeah, when you carry your coffee and come. Now that one, what did they do? They were even they were addressing business concerns from a family table, from a family conversation, from a family round table conversation. That is a big red flag. You don't do that. Unfortunately, they did not appoint, they didn't even have the right structures. And that's why you see them, where Peter, they do part 1 to 8b. Then they should have had independent accountants. Peter no get independent accountant. Paul no get independent accountant. Jude no get independent accountant. Their company's professional appointed accountant with clearly defined duties. They no get anyone. Now when Peter begin to ask question, they can say, yeah, let's go and employ Kinikan. Now they did firefighting, just like most of us do. Now when Kasala boss, now we'll go they seek professional advice. Meanwhile, all of these things should have rectified if we had done things the right way. Now, another lesson is they should have had annual independent financial review or audit. Of course, you and I know say they no get. From all the story we all of them they talk, we no see anything happen. Right? You should at least understand what the distributors say they do. Who paid what bank account did they pay it into? Royalty, where is it coming for? Who is negotiating it? Do you have to? Is there a contract to that? There is nothing to tell us anything. They just left everything. Now my brother and my sister, they can't enter each other's house. Can't they give each other boost? They can't call social media. One as even at a point, one go meet to very dark man. They can't begin to speak grammar. Then they should have had related party transaction. Must be transparent. The likes of Northside Music Entertainment and Northside Music, Music Limited and Entertainment. We don't know the difference between them. Who are they? Who they be? We don't know. Who owns what? We don't know. For all you care, if he be saying Jude, now he get the royalty where you just give all of them. If he be saying in they do contract, we don't know. There's a whole lot that he should have done. Now, Jude create Northside Music Limited. He also created Northside Entertainment Limited. How did Peter, Paul, and Jude, how did they allow such to happen? To the extent say the thing called they cause confusion. Right? Then establish royalty waterfalls. Before money arrive, everyone should know how much came in, how much was the entire money. Who distributor? What did the distributor receive? What did publisher receive? What did manager receive? What did company expense? What was company's expense? What was Peter's? All of those things they should have broken it down. But unfortunately, we don't see anything. Nobody should have to be guessing, right? Then there should have been exit agreements before there was a fight. Unfortunately, from all that we see, nobody get exit agreement. Peter say they do. Paul say they do. Jude say they do. All of them went their separate way. As we dey talk now, there is no record to tell us their exit agreement. It was all verbal. I know they do. For a business, not just ordinary under the box business, for a business that had a global recognition, for one of the biggest brand that emerged from Africa, you can see how the Okoye brothers use it is family issue to ruin what they have built. Now, my reflection as we wrap up, the three of them, they could love one another. They could build something extraordinary. They could have become successful beyond anything that they imagined. But success itself created complexity for them. All that they were doing it on brotherly level. They were not doing it from the angle of business. They did not, for one day, use their business acumen according to Osofia. They left their business acumen, they left it inside the bin. They were busy behaving like traders from Alaba markets. They had forgotten that they're a global brand. They were acting like Emeka and Ochuku in Alaba business, in Alaba markets. They left the most important things, they threw it in the bin. They should have had contracts signed, management agreement. They should have had financial auditing. There was nothing to it. They struggled to separate business from family relationship. They struggle to establish management and intellectual property protection over their relation, over their personal life and family relationship. You see, they built a brand and they used their own hand to rip that brand apart because they could not separate family from business. Everything. How many people? Do you know how embarrassing it is to hear that all that P Square did, all that they stood for and did was all verbal agreements. Even their CAC company registration was very, very basic. They did it like Emeka and Oshuko, where they sell for Alaba markets. They did not do it professionally at all. What a brand. This was one of the biggest brand that came from Africa. We still remember their songs. The two guys, they gave us a different feel to music. They built a brand, but they were so illiterate in the way they managed professionalism. So all that P Square stood for was all verbal agreements and round the family table discussion. That was all that they stood for. You know what was coming to my head? I wonder if Burna Boy, years down the line, I wonder if this wouldn't be the case for Burna Boy. Remember, his mom is managing him. All these deals. I remember his mom has said, his mom has given interviews several times where the mother has said, Burna Boy is not interested in the finances. He's not interested in the contract agreements. All he's interested in is just to sing. The sisters are the one managing, the sisters are in charge of costumes, design and stuff. What's that all about? I hope things are properly stipulated. I hope they too, they're not doing, it is family. Davido too, I hope that's not the case for him. What's his name of this guy? Kiss Daniel, I hope that's not the case for him. I'm just thinking of the ones on my head. The ones that are being married by their families. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's not just a family conversation. Because if I tell you that the P Square one is not a big eye opener, it's something worth reflecting on. It's something that gives me cold shivers. It's something that gives me very cold shivers. I won't lie to you. Me and my friend, we have actually been discussing and discussing and discussing, looking and scrutinizing all the paperwork that we signed together. It's not because we don't trust ourselves. It's just because, this has been. Well, I can't. See, I don't. I mean, so far there is nothing that has suggested that we are doing anything, that we have not done things the right way. But it's also important that we don't just use commonalities. Because you can be so educated. I mean, people were saying, these guys, they have diploma. That's why, you can have diploma and still be educated. When you run a business, you need to understand the business of what you're doing. I was telling you guys, before I went into the travel business, there were exams I needed to do. They were as I speak to you, I am still studying. As I speak to you, I am still constantly researching. I am still constantly researching because the travel industry, I didn't realize how big and how complex it is. It's not just as simple as I can book a hotel, I can book a flight. No, it's not as simple as I can book holiday. There is a whole lot in the travel business, and I'm sure that's a reality for most other businesses as well. The amount of things I'm learning from just doing this travel business, honestly, I couldn't believe my eyes. 2-3 years ago, as far as I was concerned, all I just need to do is just book my flight, book hotel, and that's me. I'm happy. I didn't know that behind booking the hotel and booking the flight and booking accommodation and excursion and all whatnot, I didn't know there's a whole lot of things that you need to have in place. So there's a whole lot to put in place. Please, if you are doing business with your wife, your husband, anybody you are doing business with, please don't be too familiar. Cross your T's and dot your I's. Is very, very important. Apart from, yes, these brothers, they have done what they have done, but don't you see, instead of focusing on the brothers do this, pay attention to the lessons. Let's pay attention, and that's why I'm very interested in the things that they were not saying, that were obvious but they were not saying. So that's one of the reasons why I paid attention to all of this. And like I said, particularly, it caught my interest because I am more or less on this table. Thank you, Temi. The key word here is don't be too familiar. Yes, that's a key word. Don't be too familiar. Please don't. Okay? Always have agreement in place. Even if you're your church member, have agreement in place. Do things the right way. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Don't just sign what you don't know. Read what you are signing. Read. And there is no law that says you have to read straight away and sign it straight away. Ask to have legal advice. Ask to even get financial advice. Don't go into something you don't understand. Is very, very important. And I hope these guys, it's a lesson, because the two of them, Rude Boy, they do Rude Boy. Peter, they do Mr. P. Look at a big brand. They are now back as upcoming artists. They do upcoming artists. Let me say something. Even the kind of music that Peter is singing is more or less recreating P Square kind of music. Legally, is he allowed to do that? The two of them, when they go and sing, they are still singing P Square's music. Are they legally allowed to do that? We don't have all those answers. It's going to be very interesting to see what the court does. The court judgment and stuff is going to be very, very interesting. So my people, ní Olúwaranmilọ́wọ́ dé Ebenezeri, Like I said, please, so make una no vex, abeg. I will keep disturbing you, please. Please help me subscribe to my travel channel. Kindly help me subscribe to my travel channel. Please, I'm begging. Please help me get to 50 subscribers at least. And then that way, if I get to 50 subscribers, I'm able to do live stream. And the live stream the live stream I want to do will help me focus. I want to use that page strictly to focus on travel. Anything about travel, any information you need about travel, that is where it will be. So please help me get it to 50 subscribers, because that would allow me do live stream. Isa, you say me and you will go to Freetown. I actually want to travel. I'm on board. Why not? If not, I'm on board. So please help me take my page to 50 subscribers, and that way I can do live stream. I'm actually traveling. I've got some well, there are some letters. I'm waiting on some things. If those things, if I get well, I'll see, because I'm still trying to look at the legality around it. So if I see it, if those things come true, then there's a whole lot. In October, I'm traveling, and I want to be able to stream from my what's the name? I want to be able to stream from my Aproko travel, because that would allow me, it will be more focused on travel, strictly travel, not just for content alone, but like tips about travel, the different things. And I'm also trying to see if I can reach like I'm also trying to see if I can reach companies. There are companies I'm speaking to just now, trying to see if I can reach them solely from the angle of what's the name? From looking at deals that I can have around Africans in diaspora and Africans in Africa. Because there's a lot of we are so underrepresented in the travel world. And like I said, my page is all about information. So I want to be able to like open that up for that kind of discussion. And I've got some brand I'm speaking to just now, and hopefully I want to see the legality around. I want to be able to understand all legality before signing anything with them. And in that way, I can invite them over. You can ask them questions. I want to try and see if I can get discounts, travel discount for Africans. Okay, because I'm very, very clear that my audience are mainly Africans. And there's a reason why I'm so deliberate about that. I'm speaking currently to quite a good big names in the travel industry. And I'm not just presenting myself as someone who just owns a travel business, but also as someone who has who is a content creator. And I'm literally exploring the gaps. I'm exploring a lot of gaps within the African, within the underrepresentation of Africans in certain areas. So yes, so please help me get my page to 50. Get it to 50, and then from there, 50 allows me to do live stream. So please help me recommend my page to as many people as you want to recommend it to, and please help me try and subscribe. Help me get it to 50. Okay, help me get it to 50, and it gets that visibility there. Una, thank you. So far it is 21 subscribers. Thank you so much. But please, I'm begging. Na beg I dey beg. I know they do shakara. Help me get it to 50 subscribers, please. Please help me. Help me. It's 22 now. Really? Thank you. Thank you. Please help me get it to 50 subscribers. There's quite a lot that I've got to share that I really want to share. I'm so excited because they're like three big travel companies, not companies, but three big names within the travel industry that I'm pitching stuff to, and I really want I think I'm pitching. I've sent a presentation to them, and a very detailed with statistics and everything. I've sent it to them, and yes, so they are very key. They seem very, very keen to want to work with me, and it's not just about working with me, so to say, but because I'm very, very clear what I stand for. And if you go and look at my Aproko with Cruise description, you notice that I've changed my description. I've made it more. It's much more professional. I've done it in a more professional way. Obviously, it's in order to attract those particular set of people. In short, I didn't realize I had to do it this morning. I had to sit down quickly, put things together this morning because, like I said, there are few. I've got some companies reaching out to me, but I just don't want to jump at anything. I want it to be very, whatever I'm doing, it needs to work for the African community. It needs to work for Africans, both in Africa and those in the diaspora, because that's where my passion has always been. Okay? I know I've been able to make a difference in the domestic abuse, in the world of violence against women and girl child, and also around immigration, improvement and lifestyle for Africans. I've done that in my own little way. So I want to be able to make a difference in this. So yes, please help me recommend my page, and no, it's YouTube. It's YouTube. I really need to grow the YouTube. Facebook, I can't do Facebook. I'll get around Facebook, but YouTube is where I really want. Because most of these brands, they have a very strong presence on YouTube. And that was one of the things when I was doing a meeting with them. That was one of the things they said. I didn't realize. In short, I was quite surprised at the brand names. But once they come true, once I'm happy with what they are saying, I don't know what I'm still not comfortable. I need legal guidance around what they are saying. So once I'm happy with what they are saying, once I get a legal guidance around what they are saying, then it's easy for me to then I will come back to you all. I will definitely come back to you all and look at where we are. But the names are the brands I'm looking at are very, very, I'm very excited with the brand I'm looking at. I'm very, very excited with them. And see, all of this, what I can say is, you see, sometimes you are doing something not thinking about it. Like I said, I'm just an accidental content creator. I was actually listening to this lady the other day, Patricia Bright. I don't know if anybody knows Patricia Bright. She's a big name in YouTube. I was listening to her the other day. She was doing a live stream, and I've always followed her. I was listening to her even long before I even went into the world of content creation. I've always followed her. I've always followed her, and I was surprised. She said she was talking about how she accidentally became a content creator, and it was so interesting. But obviously, her market, she's really into financial literacy. That's what she does. She's really into the financial literacy thing. So I was listening to her. I was actually paying attention to what she was saying, and So, like I said, I created a niche for myself where my passion has always been to work with, to bring knowledge and understanding to the Africans and Africans in diaspora. So even when I was naming myself, I deliberately did it. I deliberately named myself Aproko. So everybody likes to gossip. But even traveling is you gossiping, because you're actually being nosy. That's why you're traveling, right? You are nosy for knowledge, you are thirsty for knowledge, and in the place of it too, you're also showcasing what you're doing. So, please like the page. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel. Please kindly subscribe to it. Get me to 50, and then yes, we can focus. We can do proper focusing on but me no be you teach me, and then we can what's the name, and then we can focus solely on travel, There are tips, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of things that I would love to talk about, but I don't want to muddle it up in the main page. I want it to be strictly from the travel. So if it's something you're interested in, just come over there, and once we are 50, I'll be able to do live stream, and then we can talk about it. You can phone in, we can have proper chats, and yeah. So yes, and also if you want to book your travel, whatever kind of travel you want to book, hotels, package holidays, group holidays, solo trips. Next year I probably will do some. I might do one or two, I don't know yet. I might do one or two solo trips. I'm not sure yet, because next year is also my 50th birthday. So yes, next year is also my 50th. So there's quite a lot coming on my way that next year. But hey, I am there. So what am I saying? So I'm looking to do solo trips. I'm also saying some trips I can do. I'm going to be doing I'll be doing quite a few things. I'll be doing some reviews as well. So it's not easy. 50. Yeah. It's not easy. You would like a group holiday. Abundance Grace. Boss me. You like a group holiday? Nice one. Where will you be looking to go to? Where are you looking to go to for a group holiday? Send a message to me on... Oh, no, not this one. No, that's not the right one. Send a message to me on this. Send a WhatsApp message to me on this, and then we can have... Bahamas. Yes, now you're talking. Bahamas, there's quite some interesting... Buzz me and then we can talk. Call me, just WhatsApp me. Call me on this WhatsApp number that I've displayed, and we can talk, okay? Yeah, buzz me, and then... How many of you in a group? That's a number. Abundance Grace, have you seen it? That's a number. So put a UK code there. Have you seen it, Abundance Grace? Have you seen the number? Let me know if you've seen the number. Okay, so send a WhatsApp to me, and I would or just send a WhatsApp to me or call me after the show. Definitely, we're good to go. Ẹ wo èèyàn láṣọ mi lóòótọ́. Oh, thank you, Elekorun. Thank you. So anywhere in the world, anywhere you want to go to, definitely anywhere you want to go to. I'm planning some holidays. No worries. Reach out to me. What's the name? I'm doing. In short, there's somebody from Canada that I'm planning. I'm trying to work out on the person contacted me just yesterday. So I'm working on I'm trying to work on their holiday. I'm trying to get that sorted. So yeah, so I'm working around it. Apropos, Bami won't carry you travel. Bami. How many times did I call you? So yeah, so please, whatever kind of holiday, river cruising, ship cruising, small cruising, destination holiday, destination birthdays, honeymoon, wedding, wedding venue, honeymoon venues, destination. My very first booking was a destination birthday. That was my very first booking. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely fantabulous. I did. Yes, I enjoyed it. It was in Portugal. I didn't realize how much knowledge I was going to have about Portugal. And I was so glad when they came back to me, because obviously I wanted a review. I asked for review, and they did give me a good review. I asked for pictures, but again, it's all private to them, so they didn't share their pictures. But yeah, that's fine. There are some people who just want to be private. They don't want to share their picture, which is good. But that's something. It was such a good learning. I had 2 weeks back and forward, trying to put things together, trying to make sure that we match all what they needed, the welcome. We had everything all put in place. So it was really, really fantastic. It was fantastic, and I enjoyed it. So, even me too, next year, unfortunately, I'm not the one planning that, but next year, I have what is it called? Next year, there's destination birthday for me. It's Greece. I'm going to Greece. But unfortunately, I'm not the one planning it. It's my children who are planning it. Whether they will allow me make content, I don't know. But I don't even know where in Greece. But I've always said, if I want to do my 50th, actually my 40th, I wanted to do it in Greece. But for one way or the other, something else came up. So I had to do it differently. But my 50th, Greece has always been on my bucket list to do it. So I'm going to Greece to do it. And I'm looking forward to being in Greece next year. I don't know the venue, and I don't know if they're going to tell me the venue. I don't know if they're ever going to tell me the venue. I don't know yet. Now the matter, we see this. Those children, I don't know what thing I won't do with them. But I'm going to Japan next year. My travel on Aproko travel, when I go see I'm there. Then in what's the name? In October, I'm away to watch the Northern Lights. Okay, so that one, please help me get my travel, help me get Aproko travel to what be the name, to 50 subscribers. Obviously, we'll grow it above and above and above. We'll grow it, but help me get to 50 subscribers, and then I can do live stream. We can look at tips, you can look at stuff. We will go around, you look around my cabin. Luckily, not luckily, I paid for it. I got a balcony cabin. So yes, it's something that we will look at. Okay, so for your travel, please reach out to me. We have a lot of good deals. We have a lot of travel plans. Reach out and I'll get that all sorted. Okay. Abundance Grace, I'll be waiting for your call. All right, it was nice doing business with everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please don't forget, it's expanding. Yeah, somehow. It's expanding. But thanks to everybody. I'm just a tree in the forest. So thanks to everybody. Yes, so everyone, I'll see you all tomorrow. Please don't forget to help me subscribe to my Aproko Travel channel. Okay? Thank you all and have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead of you. And for those who are at work, keep grinding. We are almost there. Okay? See you all tomorrow and take care. Bye.